Now, Napier really suffered, and Hawke's Bay as well, with COVID, with tourism and things like that. What do you think should be done to sort of bring it back to the way it was? We've got some cruise ships coming back in. And
Well, that's a good question. Do we want to bring it back to exactly how it was? That's a good question. So I happen to be a strong supporter of Stuart's tourism policy, which is we should be going for more high-value tourism. I think that's exactly right. I am. Don't take me the wrong way. I'm not against cruise ships, and I stop and chat to people that come off the boats, and I love that they come here, and I love that it often makes them, want to come back, and they get a great experience here. But I wouldn't be pushing hard to get more and more cruise boats. I'd be pushing harder to get the kind of people that come here. I have friends that they've come here because I live here, and then now I find out they're visiting and I didn't even know, because they love it here. They stay in a boutique hotel, they go and they have lunch at Black Barn or Mr D or whatever, and they spend some money. What I hear from retailers and business people is that the people off the cruise boats often come in, they have their Art Deco tour, and everything that they're spending is on the boat, and they don't actually spend much here. Yeah. So I think more higher quality tourism for sure.
So do you think Napier needs to join with the region in selling the region rather than just selling Napier?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're a package, aren't we?
So
you stay in Napier and you go to a vineyard in Hastings, maybe.
Where did you stand on the whole amalgamation debate? In terms
That's a really interesting question. That feels like ancient history.
Yeah, but there's some people that saying maybe the crisis, this current cyclone would have been better served if there was one council.
So amalgamation's one of those words that's loaded. So what I am going to say is there needs to be better cooperation between Napier and Hastings. And you'll see that, Anna Lorca and I, you'll see us out in public cooperating together as a team for Hawke's Bay.
Well, I was just going to ask you that, because that's the two national candidates here, Cathy Nimmin and Catherine Wedd, make a lot of noise about how they work as a team and that. And I've
known Anna for years.
And some people say that maybe Anna and Stuart didn't work closely together. That's some of the criticism.
It may have looked like that, but I think the reality was he was a minister with many portfolios because he was a good cabinet minister, and he was working huge hours. He was working over 100 hours a week. Yeah. So I think it was harder for him to be possibly as visible at her alongside things. But hey, I won't be a cabinet minister, so all I will have to do is advocate for the people of Napier. And yeah, you'll absolutely see Anna and I out in public, as a team. And between her experience as an MP and my experience in business getting stuff done, I think that we make a compelling team.
Because a lot of people say the Jacinda effect caused the red wave that swept all along the East Coast and that. And maybe you're not going to have that red wave anymore. How do you think you're going to counter that?
So, I'm not sure if it was entirely a Jacinda effect. And I think any Labour government that had been in during that pandemic would have put people first. If it had been Grant or Chippy, or if it had been, we had a string of leaders too, right? I think a Labour Party is predisposed to thinking about how to put people first in those situations. And if you think back to the things that Simon Bridges and others were arguing for at the time and what we did, I think what it was people had been scared and people were glad that somebody had actually saved their grandmother and their aunt. And we've sort of forgotten that now. Yeah. Over 220,000 people have died in the UK, Yeah. I have people over there who've lost women in their 30s with young children who don't have a mother or don't have an uncle or a father. Yeah. And one of the reasons there's a global shortage of health workers is tens of thousands of health workers died of COVID. Yeah. We protected our health system from that. And, I know Auckland did it tough, but we had no choice but to get our vaccination rates up. And I think people at the time, people's memories are short, but at the time, people saw that the Labour government protected people. That's what I think that was about. So I haven't quite answered the full question. I think Labour will be strong up and down the East Coast. I think this seat has been a red seat more often in history than it has been a blue seat. And also, as I've said to you, I would appeal to people. Yes for 2 ticks, but if they can't bring themselves to vote later, I think I'm a good candidate to get things done.